So, now as I said, so let us continue on this slightly informal intuitive line. So, events are subsets of sample space which are of interest to me. Okay. So, I want to build up a structure of these subsets of omega. Okay. So, I want to say that let us say A, which is a subset of omega, is an event, it is of interest to me. So, it is an event. So, I want to say that not A is also of interest to me, right. When an occurrence of something is of interest to me, it is very reasonable to say that its non occurrence is also interesting to me. It is after all one determines the other, right. If A is of interest to me, I should say that A complement is also of interest to me. So, I want to be able to say that if A is an event, then A complement is an event. So, remember A complement is a subset of omega, right, but since I am only saying that events are subsets which are of interest, I want to impose a certain constraint that if A is of interest, A complement should be of interest to me, right. It makes perfect sense, right. So, that is one thing I want, right, in this intuitive notion of interesting subsets of sample space. Another structure I want to impose is that if there are, let us say, two events A and B, they are both subsets of omega, of course, A and B, I want to know whether A or B, A union B is of interest, right. So, if A and B are of interest, I want to say that did at least one of them occur is of interest to me, right. These are things that I want to impose, right. And finally, I want to also say that omega itself, which is a subset of itself, the sample space, that is sure to occur, right. So, if any time I run a random experiment, the omega itself will occur, right. After all, the omega contains all possible outcomes of the random experiment. So, you may say that omega itself should be an interesting event, right. The sample space itself as considered a subset of itself must be an interesting event, right. So, this is the structure we are building up towards. Okay, these three things, right. That omega itself should be an interesting, when A is interesting, A complement should be interesting, and when A and B are interesting, then A union B should be interesting. Okay. So, that is what I am building up towards. Oh, by the way, there is just one little definition I forgot. So, maybe I should put that here. Definition: an event is said to occur if omega is in A. Okay, so, that is a fairly simple definition. I am just saying that, so I am considering some subset of the sample space. I say that let us say that is an event, and I say that that event occurs if my elementary outcome lands in that set, right. So, this goddess of chance picks a little omega, right. That little omega may be in this set or may be somewhere else, right. If that little omega so happens to be in this A, then I say that the event A has occurred, right. So, in this particular case, if the elementary outcome is any of these guys, then I say that the event corresponding to this guy, at least two heads, has occurred. Okay, that is just a question of terminology. Okay, it is just a name. Okay, so far okay. So, okay, so going back to what I was just saying, I want to impose certain structure to these events, right. I want to say that A is of interest, A complement is of interest. If A and B are of interest, they are events, then A union B should be of interest, and omega itself should be of interest. So, this structure leads to what is known as an algebra. Okay, this concept is mathematically known as an algebra. Okay. So, let us put definition. So, as usual, so omega is the sample space. Okay. a collection F naught of subsets of omega is called an algebra. If the following three properties should be satisfied. So, the null set should be in the algebra if A is an F naught, then A complement is an F naught, and 3 if A. So, A is a set and B is a set in F naught, then A union B is in F naught. So, this is scripted F. Okay. So, there is one question of notation I want to clarify right away. Okay. So, when I am talking about sets, okay, so when I am talking about sets, I will use capital English letters, and when we are talking about not necessarily English letters, actually even omega, this is a capital letter. Okay, this omega is a Greek letter after all. And when we are talking about elements of a set, we will use small letters, small omega or small x, you know, all small letters. So, we should write a statement like that should, this is an element of a set, right. And similarly, so when I write something scripted, right, it is a collection of sets, right. So, this is a set, right, and you collect many of these sets. A collection of sets is indicated with a scripted letter. Okay. So, this is a convention we will follow, we will stick to as much as possible. Okay. So, I will have x belongs to A, but when I write the let us say some subset sign, these two must be of the same type, right. They must be both sets in this case. Here this is an element that is a set, right, and for example, I can write A is an element of F naught. F naught is a collection of sets. So, here is an element, here is a collection of sets. So, here this is an element, this is a set, this is a set, this is a collection of sets. So, that is like a hierarchy, right. And similarly, I may write some F1 is a subset of F1 is contained in F naught, right. F1 may be some collection, F naught may be some other collection. This is contained in that means all the sets which are in F1 will be contained in which are also elements of F naught, right. So, this is like a hierarchy. Okay. This is something you have to get used to. So, capital letters sets, small letters elements, and scripted letters are collections of sets. Okay. And of course, you can also talk about collections of sets, right, and so on, right. There is this whole hierarchy. So, in that spirit, so I have denoted F naught as a collection of subsets of big omega, right. So, big omega is sample space and it has many subsets, right, possibly finite, possibly infinite, possibly even uncountable, right. So, this has many subsets, and that is a collection of subsets of omega is said to be an algebra if these three constraints are satisfied. So, we should have that the null set should always be an element of the algebra, all right, and when A is an element of the algebra, A complement is always an element of the algebra. Some people write omega here, right, it does not, if you have this, then 5 the complement of that is omega, right. So, you can either write omega or phi here, no big deal. And here you are saying that if A is an element of F naught and B is an element of F naught, then A union B is an element of F naught. This is the structure that I was talking about. Okay. So, any collection, so what is an algebra after all? So, an algebra is a collection of subsets of my sample space which has certain properties. It must be closed under complementation, and if I take two elements, it must be closed under union, and after all then the null set should be contained in it. Okay. So, from these from this structure you can easily prove that if you have n elements of the algebra a 1, a 2, a n, let us say they are all in F naught, then a 1 the union of all these guys will be in F naught, right. So, this maybe you should do it as a homework. So, exercise, let a1, a2, a n, see these are all subsets of omega. Let us say all of these are elements of the algebra. You can show that union a I is in F naught and intersection is in so n is a fixed number here, any fixed finite number, and you are considering n subsets of the sample space which are all elements of the algebra. Okay. Using these are called axioms of algebra. Using these axioms of the algebra you can prove that all these finite unions and finite intersections are in fact elements of the algebra. Can someone indicate to me how one would do this? Let us say union first. So, for 3 elements you can say, well, if you have a, b and c, a 1, a 2, a 3, let us say, you know that a 1 union a 2 is element of F naught. So, if you union that with a 3 which is also an element of F naught, you should get another element of F naught. So, if you want to just prove it for any n, you will use induction, right, you can use induction very trivially, right. So, this you can prove easily, right. How do you prove that? You can use De Morgan's law, right. After all, this intersection, this can be written as, so this can be written as union I equals 1 through n a I complement the whole complement, right. This is by De Morgan's law, right. So, after all a I complement are events, whenever a I are event, a I complements are events, and union of all that is sorry, I am sorry. So, a I what did I say, a I's are all elements of the algebra, a I, then a I complements are elements of the algebra. So, union is an element of the algebra, the complements same, right. So, this is an element of, so this is very clearly an element of F naught. So, you are done, right. So, this is the structure you want to impose on these events, right, and that leads to this mathematical structure called algebra of subsets. Fine, everybody okay? So, if you want to say it in words, an algebra of subsets is simply the collection of subsets which contains null set, and it should be closed under finite unions and finite intersections, complements finite unions, and therefore under finite intersections. It comes out as a consequence of De Morgan's law, right. It is a collection of subsets closed under complementation and finite unions, not unions, finite unions. Okay, I want to make this very, very clear. Okay, finite unions, okay, and therefore also finite intersection because of De Morgan's law. Okay. So, this is the structure you want to impose for these events ideally, right. So, events we have still not defined what it is, right, we have only said it is some interesting subset of the sample space, right. So, is this enough, right. So, let us take an example. Yes.
Won't it be true for countable units of the countable?
No, I've only made the statement that an algebra is I only defined what an algebra is, right. An algebra I've said is a collection of subsets which is closed under complementation and finite unions, right. This n is finite, remember, right. It can be anything, but it has to be finite, right, and finite intersections by De Morgan's law. That is all I have said.
You have defined it.
Which one?
This thing you derived using.
Yeah. So, you can actually jolly well define it like this also, right. In this case, some people define algebra as, oh, if A1, A2, An is in F naught, then the union of A1 to An must be in F naught. Right, they are both, if you define it for 2 elements, you get the n element version, or you can just define it as the n element union, right, for all n, right, it must be closed under finite unions. And this is something you do not put in the axiom, because it automatically follows from union and this complement axiom, right. You apply both together with De Morgan's law, you get this you never put in the axiom, because you can prove it, right.
So, is script f is finite?
Huh?
Is the script f is
No, it is just a collection of subsets of,
it can be infinite.
yeah, this F naught can have infinitely many, no problem, right. It can have infinitely many subsets of omega, right, but all I am saying is it is an algebra, it is called an algebra if it is closed under complementation and finite unions and finite intersections.
The union and intersection, the De Morgan's law is not constrained only to finite. This also
No. De Morgan's law is valid always for all unions and intersections, it is always valid, but I am saying that an algebra is only closed under finite unions. Okay. I am defining an algebra as a structure among subsets which has the property that a null set is contained in it, complements, is closed under complementation and it is closed under finite unions, that finite is very important. Okay. That is what a algebra is. So, it turns out, so it is so so it seems like intuitively this is enough, right, because after all you are closed under any finite unions. So, it turns out though that in order to make in order to actually study events of interest in day to day in this modeling of probability, actually this closure under finite unions is actually a little bit short of what you actually need, okay, in order to make this a proper interesting probability theory. This closure under finite unions is a little bit short of what you need. Okay, you need a little more structure than an algebra. Okay. So, that is what there are some examples you can use to motivate it. So, let us say that you are tossing, so let us say you are tossing coins and you will toss until you see the first head. Okay. Okay, if you have a situation like that, let us see what the outcomes are. So, this is your experiment. Okay. So, you may have the first thing may be a head, you are done, you will stop, right. The first time you see a head you will stop, or maybe you will have a head and then a tail and then you will stop, right, and or you may have 2 tails and a head, then you may stop and so on, right. You may have T T T H dot, right, but you will toss until you see the first head. Okay. That is your experiment. So, this is the set of all possible outcomes, right, the string of faces that show. See, you may be interested, let us say, so you may be interested in some event like this. let us say the event is the total number of tosses even. Okay. All right. So, this is the question I want to answer, okay, and this is what I want to be considered an interesting event. Let us say this is what I am interested in studying. Now, we are so let us say this is my sample space. Okay. Let me say that let us say I build my let us say I take each of these elementary outcomes, okay, and let us say I try to build an algebra from it. Okay. So, if I take all these elementary outcomes, so I will take this is an elementary outcome. So, I have to include its complement, right, then I have to take that and include its complement this and include its complement and so on, and then I will also have to go on and include all these finite unions, and I have to include that union that union that complement and so on, right. So, that is how I build my algebra, right, correct. So, according to my F naught. Now, the problem is this guy, this event, let us say this let me call this A, right. This A is actually consists of the following elements. What does it have? T H T T T H and so on. I hope this is right. So, what is the argument I want to make now? So, this is all these guys that I am interested in. So, this is the subset of the sample space I am interested in. However, if I try to just build so if I take elementary outcomes here little so each of these elementary outcomes include them in the F naught, and then I have to include their complements, and then I have to include all these finite unions. But if you do that, you will notice something like this, it will never be contained in your algebra, because this has this what kind of this is a countably infinite set, right. This is also a countably infinite subset of this set, right. So, this set you can never build by just taking these elementary outcomes, taking their complements and taking finite unions. You can actually verify that this A is not, you can never build this A by just taking these elementary outcomes and taking complements and finite unions. After all, this is an infinite union, countably infinite union of elementary outcomes, right. This is, see, this is that union, that union, that, but it is a countably infinite union, right. So, a perfectly reasonable sounding event, this is something I may be very much interested in modeling, right. What is the event is that did the event of total number of heads being even just occur, right. That is a perfectly reasonable event, one would think, and one would want to make it an interesting event, but the structure we have just imposed, namely the structure of an algebra, is does not seem to be enough to build this from the elementary outcomes. Just think about it, right. So, which is why I said that this structure of an algebra, it falls a little bit short of what is actually needed to make probability theory interesting, right. So, that leads us to a slightly stronger notion, a slightly stronger structure among subsets known as sigma algebra. Okay. That is something we will cover next class. Okay. So, we have defined algebra today. So, we have motivated why we need not just finite unions, but we are going to say that I need closure under complementation and countably infinite unions, okay. And that structure is called a sigma algebra, okay. And that is what gives you a very rich probability theory, okay. That is what gives you the ability to model even fairly elementary events like this, right. So, fairly simple events like this, which algebra is not able to capture, right. So, probability theory operates with a sigma algebra. of subsets, okay, that we will see next class. Thanks.